I'm going to tell you a little story about the South Wales miners. In 1947, the South Wales miners bought an hotel in Bournemouth. It was called the Mandarin Hotel, and it was a lovely hotel. It was about 200 yards from the sea, about 200 yards from the pier, and a beautiful place. One of the best places you can have in Bournemouth. But it did have a little bit of history, and the history was in 1898 there was a experimental mast built there, and the first radio message, paid radio message, was sent by a Lord Carnarvon to the Isle of Wight, and that was the first time it was ever sent in the world, and it was sent from Mandarin Hotel. But I will say this: if you go to the front of now the Court Royal, you will see a plaque saying what happened that day. But a lot of people thought it was from the front, but it was actually sent from the back of the hotel, and it was right at the back, and according to form it was sent in a little hut. And if you go back there now, you wouldn't see the hut, but according to form the hut is buried under the ground. So it was from the back of the hotel. But going now to when the miners bought it in 1947, it was bought to be a convalescent home for miners, and every year about 60 miners would go up there. They would go for a week, and they would go up there for about 50 times a year, so there was thousands of miners going up there. When you got up there, they would have a doctor, they had a sister, they had nurses, and when you got to the hotel, the first thing they done was the doctor would examine you, and he'll examine every one of you, take your tablets, everything, and he'll tell you what to do. But they had very strict rules there. The rules were you had to have your breakfast in the morning. In the day you could go out for a little stroll, but in the afternoon at 1 o'clock you would have to lay down from 1 till about 2, and then they would examine you and let you go, and you could walk around again. In the evening you could go out for a water gun, but you had to be back in by 10, and if you wasn't back in by 10, they give you a row, and they wouldn't put up with it. If you didn't come in, they would stop you going out. But going back to the hotel itself, it was a real lovely hotel at that time. But as time went on, going now to the 85 miners' strike, thousands of miners finished, because at one time there was 100,000 miners paying towards Court Royal. But when the miners' strike come, all South Wales, they only left about 3 pits there. So they had to find another way of getting money to keep it going. So what they decided to do was they would let the miners go up there free for the first 3 months, and then they could take their wives up for the next 6 months. Only a week they would have in those 6 months, but they were allowed to take wives for the months. And the last 3 months of the year, the miner would have another free holiday. And that's how they kept it going. And I tell you what, once a year as well, they would allow disabled children to go in June, and they were allowed a free week. As time went on, they introduced a bar, and that was one of the best things they ever done, because you imagine a lot of miners couldn't go out of there at one time, and they could have a little drink inside, like in there. They also got a big TV lounge upstairs where you could go if you want to be on your own and quiet. Downstairs then they got a big lounge where they had now they got Sky TV, everything, the bar. Then they got what they call where you have your food, dining hall, and then downstairs they got what they call a games room, and they got bowls, darts, any game you want to play, pool and snooker. And it's really nice, a really nice hotel. The staff are marvellous there. For about a year ago, they paid £1 million to redo the whole hotel. It's all done out immaculate now. Every room is brand new, and it's really good up there. The other things I haven't told you, what happens up there. You to get 3 meals a day, and I'll be honest, they are 3 meals. There's a lot for it. I'll give you an example for your breakfast. You'll have cornflakes, Then they come around with what they call a full Monty breakfast. Then you get toast. Then you get a cup of tea. Then you go out, and if you want to, then come back in at 12 o'clock, and you can have a cup of tea and sandwiches, or a cup of tea and chips. And then you go back out again, round looking where you want to go. And when you come back at 5:30, you have a big supper, like, a big meal and lunch. And when I tell you what, that is a big meal. There's not many men who eat all that. And that's what they got there. The other things they got there is, you'd have 3 trips a week. It takes you to different places. You go to Weymouth, different places, loads of different places. Poole, Boscombe, loads of different places up there you can go to. Other things, when you come back, if you want to in the evening, you can stay in. Because 3 nights of the week, they have entertainment, and they got singers there. And they're good. And when you go up with the married couples, they do a bingo for the married couples. But when the men are up there on their own, they mostly stay in for the singers. But when there's no singers, they do have taxis, and he goes to these clubs in Bournemouth and Boscombe. And there's one club they goes to now. It's what they call Conservative Club in Boscombe. And I tell you what, when you go to any club in Bournemouth and you say you're from the Court Royal, you'll have a marvellous reception from anywhere. And Poole, all round districts, as soon as they know you're from Court Royal, you'd have a lovely welcome. And even when you go down the towns in Bournemouth, and we walk around a lot, same there, real good. People do know your miners. I don't know why, the way we dress, I suspect, but they tell us, like, But going back to a little bit to the staff now, as I said, the manageress is Karen, and she's a very nice person. Her daughter is assistant manager, and they got a good staff, I think about 8 to 10 staff, and they're very good. But I will say this about them all. I've never ever had a complaint against any of the staff, and I've been there about 25 years now. They've been always very good. And it's still going as a miners' home now, but as it's going on, you can see now, when I told you the miners are going up there for 3 months, at this moment in 2007, we do only go up there for about 6 weeks of the year now, and 6 weeks at the end of the year. So they're having more paying customers go up there to keep it going. But I will tell you what, it's one of the best places you can go in Bournemouth. I will tell you a little what I heard once. They were offered, according to form, 15 million pound to buy it, and they wouldn't sell it. They wanted it. That's how good it is. And all around it is, next to it is what they call the leisure centre. They got not far from it is the picture house, and then, as I told you, they got the pier and beautiful walks. And I will say it, this for miners is one of the best weeks of their lives when they go up there, and I always really enjoy it. So I hope you enjoy the story, and thank you very much.